Okay, so the most recent Netflix TV show I watched is called Manifest. Started in 2018. I didn't know what to expect, so I started it and watching it, and I could not stop watching it. It turned out to be a really great series. Season 4 is supposed to be coming soon, from what I've researched, in August. So I can't wait for that. I'm excited for that. A few things that I did not like as far as with the relationships with Michaela. Michaela, oh my gosh, she first of all she whines to me so much. Like she's always seems like she's crying about everything. Like everybody feels sorry to her every time. And I know that her situation was very awkward with her coming back from flight 828 with her fiance Jared marrying her best friend Lourdes, who was not in the picture no more, and how she just went ahead and married the junkie Zeke. I mean, Zeke is cool and all, but I was just very disappointed that she ended up marrying Zeke instead of giving Jared a chance again, because he seemed like he really loves her and he really, has her back and everything. And she's always coming to him for help more than she goes to Jared for help more than she does to her own husband Zeke. And throughout every episode, every season, she's always needing Jared's help. So yeah, I didn't really like that, and I don't like the way she treats and talks to Jared either. Like he did something to her. I mean, although he did marry her best friend, but I mean, at the same time, he thought she was dead and not coming back. But you can tell, like, even it showed like her father knew that Jared still loved her, even though he did go ahead and marry her best friend. But I just don't like her whole self-entitled attitude towards Jared. To me, he doesn't deserve that. And he looks way better than Zeke. Okay? The mother, Grace, at first I was, the way she was treating Ben Stone was, well, that's because she didn't believe him at first. But when she started to believe him and show support, then that's when I started to like her more. I'll just give a brief overview of what it's about. This family and a whole bunch of others, I think it was like 192 or 1 passengers. They were on this flight coming from Jamaica, going to New York, and they all got on this flight, and they actually paid, they got paid to take this flight, because it was like their initial flight was overbooked or something happened. So they were like paid to take this other flight. So a lot of the families, they were broken up. So since they were broken up, they took this other flight going to New York. And they all get on the flight. Everything seems fine. During the flight, they go through a storm, so they experience really heavy, dramatic turbulence. Once it lands, first before they land, they like, well, what flight is this, coming into our airport? Like they had no idea where this plane was like coming from. So once they land, all these police officers and national security are kind of dumbfounded and like, where are you guys coming from? Like, what's going on? So pretty much their flight went through some kind of wormhole, another dimension. I don't know, but they were pretty much gone supposedly for 5.5 years, and everybody thought the plane disappeared or whatever, but everybody thought they died or something. So when they land, people are like, you guys were missing for 5.5 years. And they're like, what? We just got on the plane and we just seen our families, and what are you talking about? So that's when it starts getting really good. And they supposed to be like these miracle passengers, because their flight was missing for 5.5 years, and it just magically comes back after 5.5 years. Everybody thinks they're dead or whatnot. So that's when it really starts to get really, really good. So after they get all questioned and everything by the national security and police, so throughout pretty much each season, they're trying to figure out and puzzle together and piece everything together and solve this issue that they're going through, and had been gone for 5.5 years, because they all started to hear voices, having visions, just things started happening to them, miracles, start happening. So they're trying to and they start putting together all their visions and what they're hearing all together to make it out to something clues that they're getting to try to either save somebody or save themselves or whatever. So throughout the entire season, they all are pretty much coming together. All the passengers throughout, that was on the plane. They're trying to solve these. Well, mainly the main person, the main character is Ben Stone, and he's his family. He's the main one trying to solve all the visions that he's getting, him and his son Cal, because it means life or death. And then so towards the end, they figure out they have a death date. So they're pretty much trying to stop their death date, because it's like about 3 people died that had a death date, and they actually died on their death date, which is the amount of time they were gone. So they're supposed to die 5.5 years later since they returned. But one person didn't die, which was Zeke. He was supposed to die within a few days or something like that, because he wasn't even on the plane, but he was he was in the cold somewhere, Antarctica, freezing to death, about to die, and he had callings. They call them callings, visions or whatever, of Michaela. And Michaela and Ben, they all put that together, her vision and their vision, and went to go find him. And that's how they rescued him. But he wasn't even on the plane, but he survived his death date. And so it's all about, the show is really based on, I believe it's based on faith, religion, redemption. That's what they're all trying to do, and stay on the right track, follow their visions and the callings that they get, to try to redeem themselves or to survive their death dates. So that's the mission, and also figure out what really happened. So there's a lot of miracles that happen throughout the show, bizarre moments. At the end, the pilot, he killed himself and another passenger because he thought she knew everything, and she didn't. But he kidnapped her pretty much, and said he wanted to go back through the storm again and try to recreate what he went through. And they were telling him, don't do that, you're going to go through a no-fly zone, and they're going to shoot him down. But he did it anyway, and he died. But at the end, he came back. It showed him popping back up in this lab, and one of the scientists lady, she witnessed that. So it's like he was brought back to life again. It's really crazy, but it's really good at the same time. And I'm gonna be so heartbroken, if Grace is dead. It shows that at the end, that other crazy girl, she was weird to me, and she never even told them that Adrian and those other passengers that were going against Ben were even going after them, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to supposedly kill Ben, because they were saying he was the one that was causing all the trouble, and he's the apocalypse and all this, because he thinks he's Noah's Ark, and Noah is gonna pretty much bring on the flood, like how he did. Noah brought on the flood to kill everybody. So they think Ben is gonna pretty much kill everybody and get fed up or something like that. But this girl that came around, if you watch it, you'll see. I don't want to give too much detail, but I don't know if she killed. I hope she didn't kill Grace. Period. That's what I'm saying. I hope Grace did not die. That's my point. I hope Grace does not die. I would be so heartbroken if Grace dies. I hope she doesn't. So we will see. So stay tuned for season 4. So I'm really excited for this. And if you haven't watched this show, I didn't give any spoilers or anything like that. I just wanted to say it's a really good show, and you should start watching it before this new season comes out.